Uh, yep. It's the night watch right here. I'd be peeping my brothers on the day watch during the night. And I assume they probably watch my my stuff, man, during the day. But the thing about it is, I really be really watching as much as I can. Anyway, I always like to keep an eye on what's going on. I thrown up a lot of warnings, man, and some of them been false alarms, man, because it's like you're got so much anticipation because of the signs of the times, man. I mean, even if the world ends as we know it and the whole revelation kicks off, even if it's 30 years from now, in all actuality, it was it's that's not very long. That's not very far away in the whole scheme of time, right? But let's say it's even let's say 3 years, let's say 3 months. Either way, it's not very much time. And what's strange is let me recap some things. Last night, I was making this bitterness and bitter waters video, and I was describing how this bitterness will make people quick to wrath. You know what I'm saying? And it's all right. There's the red horse of the apocalypse, and it's like basically it's the red horse brings the sword, and there's a big army, and they go about murking people basically. And in Second Ezra, it explains how there's a time when the God's judgment will come upon this earth, and all the people who are basically wicked, they will be. It's like they're given the freaking rage, and like kind of like 28 days, kind of like this whole zombie scenario. Or there's a lot of apocalyptic dystopia, like Mad Max type, Terminatrix type situations. But I mean, this is really real, and like, see, bitter waters. The thing that makes people fight, they especially fight over resources. I mean, that's always been. It's like covet thy neighbor's land. Well, when you think of nations, they're the neighboring nation. Well, these guys are poor farmer, hunter gatherer, basically people, and we can go over there and deceive them and swindle them and kill them and take their land. It's like basically the King Alfred plan is about going to third world countries and taking all their stuff. Well, basically the fallen angels want to come to the earth and basically hijack all the governments and set up another pyramid, give them all the gold and your virgins type of a society. But anyway, Second Ezra talks about this judgment that comes upon the earth, where basically it's like it's kind of like, it sounds like the Purge in a way, and also the naked guys running around jumping in cars and stuff, this type thing. The cops shooting people, then the people getting riotous. I mean, just the spirit of chaos, order ab chaos, is upon us, and I mean it's really difficult. People are really frustrating these days. There's just like fights frequently break out, arguments, contentions, and railings, and it's just it wears you out, man. It's like, because you can only take so much, but when it's coming in from every freaking angle, there's contention and fights, and just the house is divided. And I mean, I'm not just saying this house here. I'm talking about the earth, this country, the world government. I mean, the world government wants to add all religions together. I mean, that's a divided house. The world's religions are not compatible. They really ain't. The mystery religion has compatible components, but even though you get down to it, even that it's very Hegelian. And it's like basically smash people in between two pillars. Like, two pillars would be like Luciferianism versus hardcore Satanism, or Democrat versus Republican, which is communism versus fascism. So it's two evils. They really push you in between two evils. And but last night there was in Florida, or not in Florida, but in California and the West Coast, there was all these orb lights. Well, last night I seen orb lights flying through the sky here in Michigan. I seen like 5 white light orbs, and what I seen over what is third phase of the moon, I think it was, or no, Secure Team 10, a video with like a cluster of these same things that I saw here in Michigan flying around. Like I saw one fly north, saw one fly south, saw one fly to the east. I had a witness with me on one, and they were also happening in a different state. And while I was making this Bitter Waters video, it's like I seen this thing fly by, and I was mentioning how in Revelations it's the millstone, I think, thrown into the sea, and the waters turn bitter. And then today, there's a green lake in Utah where the water basically turned bitter, and you had these flying orbs there last night. And in Enoch, the fallen angels are described as falling stars. They came down to like Mount Hermon, and they taught men all these different arts and sciences that basically, in a way, the knowledge corrupted and brought the whole earth to violence. Once again, this bitterness, the bitter root. What Cain was bitter against Abel because Abel was accepted by God. He wasn't. So the rejected spirit kicked in, and it went to bitterness, and then the bitterness turned into hate, and that hate turned into murder. You know what I'm saying? That's how these things progressively get worse. And I mean, one of the textbook things about angel worship and demon worship is blood sacrifice. That's another thing that would make you want to murder another. And so we got all these things present right now. We got riotousness, and like I was saying, I was trying to make these correlations to the water and how it can. I mean, it's just like, look, if you don't eat the right kind of food, you can get this malnourishment where you'll have signs like you can get depressed just from having bad diet. You can have schizophrenic like symptoms, hallucinations, insomnia just from a bad diet. And I mean, my whole life I never had to worry about none of this stuff before, but now that I'm getting older, I'm looking back on times when I was like under intense psychological distress, man, and thinking back on it, I wasn't eating right. You know what I'm saying? And then you look back, and then there's been, how long has the lead been going on? I mean, they talk about the fluoride they're spraying in the sky. And, you know, you got the whole Stitching work where it talks about they terraformed the earth so these things could live in this dimension. But see, now it's like with the they're called, I think they're called carbon printers or 3D virtual printers or something like that. All right, what's to say an angel that's not, it's not a physical being, but it's more like an energy or a consciousness that's it's not in a physical body, but it can interact with this world, but let's say it can't come all the way through. Well, what's to say they can't create a computer program that these demons can actually, in a way, like they can possess people. They could make a cyborg symbiont body that allows these things to be reconstituted. And then there's also, I seen the giant stasis giants are waking up, but then, you know, InfoWars has got the wake the sleeping giant. And I just thought that's funny that these things coincided at the same time. So it's like, you know, I've been hearing, like, right now there's a lot of alien disclosure going on. There's the whole hybridization. Maybe that's a component, the children without natural affection, and that could have been chemically induced or just through indoctrination. You know what I'm saying? Like into Nazism or communism or listen, it's all, if it's totalitarian leftism, you know what I'm saying? That is bad. That is like George Orwell, 1984. That's I mean, scientific leftism is like eugenics and like Huxley. That's like you know what I'm saying? It's like either way, it's tyrannical totalitarianism. Like Nimrod, they're Baal Marduk, the wife of Isis, or the husband of Isis, and Columbia, the District of Columbia, the husband, the sun god, the sun dragon cult, sun snake cult guy. Uh, basically, he was called, he was the first tyrant. You know what I'm saying? Of the world tyrant, world emperor. You know what I'm saying? So that's the spirit of Antichrist. Basically, is it's not only is Nimrod himself who became like a giant, but it's his little dog narcissistic followers as well. Where that's another form of narcissism, is where you're accepted by the majority. You know what I'm saying? So you get this elitism, superiority complex. Because it's like, basically, if everyone's jumping off the cliff, are you going to jump off too just to be cool? And yes, these people will. It's straight up the lemmings. It's straight up the Pied Piper. And they literally are getting puppeteered to some extent by supernatural forces. And I mean, I don't know if it's, has CERN created a wormhole? I mean, or are these, is this hidden technological new crafts? Like, is this the World War II Foo Fighter technology? It's just now it's like they're bringing it out again, like the upgrade. I mean, I was watching today, I seen this phone floating in the air, and it's to be charged, and I was like, dude, that's exactly how alien technology works right there. It's electromagnetic. So, but the Bible also does talk about actually creatures, man, and the locust, and the horseman army, the Raphaim, the valley of the dead, the mighty ones, God's mighty ones, the destroyers, Apollyon, the destroyer, Abaddon, angel of the bottomless pit. I seen this thing called the China Dragon Hole, and that reminded me of opening the abyss when I saw it, even though that might not be the actual abyss, but it sure is a nice looking prototype. But anyway, tonight I go outside and I seen the same orbs flying by. So I mean, this is a common freaking occurrence. And I mean, only if you're night watch are you gonna actually see these type of things. You know, and I'm just, not everyone's cut out for it. It's a very lonely lifestyle a lot of the time, and it's also just oddball. You know, it seems like you're always late. You know, you're always behind, running behind. It's just an awkward watch. You know what I'm saying? The night is very psychological too, because it's really, you really can't see that great. It's kind of spooky. You know what I'm saying? And the day and times we live in right now, it's like you never know when or what's gonna go down. You know, but the stars that came down, I mean, I'm wondering if these things are back now. Like the Enoch, the book of Enoch, the testimony, or it's for the generation of the Great Tribulation. And it also says, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be. And in the days of Noah, these angels came and they basically modified the whole earth, like all the food, all the animals, and people. And they made giants, and they also made chimera beings. And they found fairies. They're finding Nephilim, giant skulls, and there's just a lot of stuff being revealed, like Antarctica. You know, you got the Pope and all them going there, and Obama in there to get a view at something that's coming to the earth. The Bible says their hearts will fear them for the things coming up on the earth. I mean, you could think, is there a gateway or a portal inside of caves in the earth? So is the wormhole actually in the earth? Instead of looking in the sky, is it in the earth? And are these things coming out of the earth actually, and not from space? It's actually interdimensional, not outer dimension. I mean, in a way. But yeah, man, it's definitely like the spiritual is manifesting, the supernatural is manifesting every day more and more and more. And it's like, also like, it literally does seem like the Matrix is just glitching way more than ever. Like literally, like what was invisible before is starting to become visible. You know, and it's it also it's reconfirmation that these ancient biblical texts are not just made up fairy tales. And there has been a lot intentionally hidden about angels and demons and these other aspects of the Bible. Like they've let us get the Bible, but they dumbed it down a lot, even though it mentions it and addresses it. But I feel there was choice things left out intentionally, but now they're They're out now because they were meant to come out at this time.